What is going on, all you Minties? Thank you for joining us this not early morning, Friday, I guess midday lunch break for most of you all. So we are just getting started. This is my co-host. Let me introduce him first. This gentleman, right? One of these days I'll get that right. Is Kurtis.
Hello, hello.
Kurtis comes from the Marvel podcast, the Epic Marvel podcast. Let's get that straight. And we've done a couple of shows together in the past. He's done a couple of these advanced overviews with me. So this is really fun because what we know from Marvel and is that, I get advance like quarter solicitations. And even in that, there's still books that they sneak in. As a matter of fact, there's an omnibus in here that I this is the first time I've heard of it. So
Woohoo.
it's really cool to look through these together. These solicitations will be available later on at different websites, like starting next week, I believe, or the following week. I can't remember when they do it. It's sometime in the middle of the month. But I do want to thank David Gabriel and the folks at Marvel for putting this. They're kind enough to put this together for us. So because as a collector, I know how it feels to like, oh, I need to know what's happening. I need to know how to I need to know how to budget my money that month, or I need to know what's coming out before anybody else finds out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know what it is, like collector mentality almost.
Well, you got to plan your budget, especially with us who buy like so much stuff. It's like it's good to know in advance so that if there's like 50 books that I want to buy in April, maybe I can be a little thinner in January, February, and March. But it's good to know it in ahead of time.
Right. Or you can plan the month that you can save the most, right? Like if something doesn't interest you, you're like, oh, awesome. I can save for the following month or
Yep,
get a bunch of
exactly.
stuff from the previous month that I couldn't. Um, Now, where in Canada, where do you get most of your stuff? Like as a collector, I know you guys are all over the place, but I'm just waiting for a few people to trickle in, and then we'll get started. But
Sure.
like you're from Canada,
Yep.
and
So it's different because we don't get a lot of the same discounts as United States does. Uh, Amazon barely discounts things. We don't get Epics. First of all, our exchange rate is terrible,
yeah,
and so our Epic collections, for example, they're $52 each. And you were like, okay, well that's the same if you factor in the exchange rate. But us in Canada, we value products the same as you do in the United States. So if you were like, I'd pay $5 for that book, we in Canada would also say I'd pay $5 for that book. Unfortunately, it's $15.
oh,
um, so it's like you guys have books that are $40, and for us is $52, and it's like, no, that really is just a $40 book. Um, so we're already paying more, and then Amazon gives us maybe a 10 or 15% discount. We don't ever see the 40% discounts on Amazon that you do. We don't have sites like In Stock Trades that do the deep discounts as well. We have to try and scrounge together, discounts from wherever we can get, and most of us are paying, cover price or very close to cover price for our books. Having said that, I have one used bookstore
mhm.
in my area in Vancouver that discounts all of their books. So they're fantastic. They're called Pulp Fiction Books in Vancouver on Main Street, and I'm happy to plug them because they're a fantastic organization, and they have tons of used books. They have a big used graphic novel section. They're always buying collections and people's stuff that they don't want. But they're also happy to order brand new stuff, whether it's comics or anything, and they order it and only take a fraction of the cost. So they mark it down pretty much to cost, what their cost is, and that's in order for them to just keep people coming back to their store. And it's wonderful. And
we
so I can get my epics for a 40% discount there, and that's the only place that I've been able to find that'll do anything like that, anything remotely close.
well, the reason I ask is I have a lot of European followers that we take a lot of things here for granted,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like like there's a lot of places that we complain about, like, oh, this item hasn't shipped yet. I think we've all been, at least in America, have been pampered by Amazon and their 2-day shipping, and as well
yeah,
as their prices, right? And then we complain about, oh, look at the crappy condition it came in.
yeah.
How dare they sell this to me at 50% off? But that's just the way it is. So that's why I like to ask where you all get it from and things like that. So a price, even a small price increase on a book, would almost be like a deal
So
breaker.
yeah, so the prices of all of Marvel's big fat epics, it looks like they are slowly moving to a higher price point. For you Americans, it's going to be $45. For us, it's $57.
So I noticed Conan was the very first one that I saw, the Conan Epic Collection.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any more, and we're going to look through some today too.
There are a couple of epics that are going to be up at that price. I don't know if we'll see any in this solicitation, but the Heroes Reborn books that are coming out, I think they're all at 45.
Okay. Well,
Uh,
actually, there's one in there today, so we'll
yeah,
look at
we'll check
that.
that out. Yeah, and so I feel like they're slowly doing that. Marvel, with the rising cost of paper and tariffs and all this kind of stuff, Marvel has been looking for ways to increase or to keep the price point the same, but bring the level of their production down in order to just so that we don't have to pay more. And so that's why we've seen. I'm pretty sure that's why we've seen
The quad,
super quality paper. Yeah, going with different. They're
there was,
experimenting with different printers like
which
quad.
which is a good idea.
Yep,
Um, in general, as a business, you got to keep costs down,
keep
but it's
costs
also,
down. Yep.
but we are kind of like the test subjects, right? Like
Yeah, that's right.
I just remember when quad books came out, like the very first one. Man, well, I was on forums back then. I wasn't in Facebook groups or YouTube channels, but people just blowing up. This is not right. Like
Yeah.
I am never purchasing another Epic collection again. Right?
hmm
Like we
It
really
was
stick to that
pretty
word.
bad. There were people that were saying, "I'm never purchasing another one again." Now there were 6 epics that were at Quad, and that's because Marvel sent a bunch of them to the printer at the same time. And to their credit, they stopped working with that company, and so
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
was good.
Because that is one thing I will say about these products and the Epic line. Like they really like take pride in their work. So if
Yeah.
something isn't, if the quality isn't good or people are complaining enough, Marvel will, okay, well, time to move on. We got to look for something else, try to keep prices down. I will say, this line started what, 6, 7 years ago, I want to
Yeah,
say.
almost 7
And
years.
the fact that it's remained $39.99 for that long is pretty good.
Well,
Com-
for you, it has. For me,
Well, right.
okay, I can't even remember what the first. Let me see if I can find one here. One of the very Iron Man Enemy Within was the first one, right?
Yes,
Um,
that was the very first one.
okay, so 39.99 for Canada. The exchange rate was better, so it was $43.
Not bad.
So while yours stayed at $40 for the entire time, mine has seen an increase of $12 from 43.99 to 52.99 because of our exchange rate.
Whoa. I didn't think about that. Like, I remember going up to Canada because I used to travel a lot for my work and buying manga that I would normally get here for like 9.99, 12.99. And I remember at one time it was like 27.99, and I'm like, but it was out of print. So I was like, oh, well, I guess it's better than paying inflated prices on eBay.
Yeah, right.
Man, so I guess it's the same thing in the UK and in Europe too. I don't think about that, right? It's if it stays the same here in America, I always assume,
It
well, it's
it
going to
doesn't,
stay the same
no, because our
everywhere.
dollar fluctuates, and so the American companies adjust so that they can keep their overhead, and that hurts all of us foreign buyers. One person in the comments says, "Can you order off of U.S. websites?" And I'd say yes, we can, but shipping international is absolutely ridiculous. If you wanted to ship something, it's probably like even just one book, you're probably looking at around $20, and that's just it's not worth it. It's not worth it, even with the discount to like a $40 or 40% discount. If eh, you're not saving very much. You'd have to buy in like a large bulk quantity in order to do that.
All right, I got
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna come up to Canada. I'm gonna open up my own store like
Yeah,
cheapgraphicnovels.com or
sure.
in stock trades. Take advantage of the healthcare that you all have.
Yeah, for sure,
I,
absolutely.
I love Toronto. I'm a big fan of Toronto, right?
Well,
And
you can
I
do that, and you would have a very, very successful business because we would all be ordering from you.
oh man, I don't know if I could do the winters though. I don't know
No,
if I could
so
do the cold.
yeah, and the problem is that the one of the big reasons why the Canadian companies, like something like in stock trades doesn't exist is because when we buy in bulk quantities, when a company buys in bulk quantities, it's just not the same sort of discount
Right,
as
as they would
as
here.
Americans would because you have to pay for the shipping across the border, and the exchange rate is just generally terrible. So it's not worthwhile for these companies to do that. Comic book companies in Canada have a really, really difficult time because of all of this.
Okay. We'll get started, but I do want to say, I guess you would almost have to take a loss in order to get some kind, like take a loss with some books to hopefully sell others. Like
Yeah,
that would be such a hard algorithm to break down, right?
yeah,
Because you don't know. Yes, everybody can say, "Oh man, I can't wait for that book." You know, even in the comments or whatever, they're like, "Oh, I'm so excited for this." Yes, whatever omnibus is being reprinted doesn't mean that they're going to order it or pre-order it. So,
yep, that's right.
all right, so let's get started.
Okay,
Let me share my screen really quick, and then we can move on. Thank you again to Kurtis for joining me
my
today,
pleasure.
joining us today. Okay, share screen. And let's see. Tell me when you all can see it. Would y'all like the layout like this, or do you want the full page like this? Let me know in the comments. Actually, let Kurtis know in the comments because I can't I can't see anymore.
I've got two windows open here.
Okay. So we are kicking off this month with this Marvel Select line. Again, these are the stories selected by editors as the representation of a character. So with Venom, it's crazy. They went, well, not crazy, it actually makes sense, but they went with Donny Cates' run on
Yep,
Venom. It's
yep.
the Venom Rex. So collecting the first 6 issues. It is pretty epic if you have not read it. Continuing the Black Panther oversized hardcovers, we are getting Volume 3, Intergalactic Empire. I'm surprised they didn't renumber it, considering this collects issues 1 through 12. Is that right? The
Yeah,
2018 years.
that's
But
that's good to me. I think that's great if they're gonna keep on. I get sad when you don't know which volume one to start with.
yes, there's a lot of comics out there like that.
Yep.
The omnibus that
Oh
surprised me
boy.
that I didn't know about is the Golden Age Marvel Comics omnibus. I've had people ask me, what are the chances of a second omnibus now that we're going to get Golden Age Namor, the Golden Age Cap, Golden Age Human Torch? And honestly, I was like, probably not going to happen. And here it is.
Wow.
On sale August 2020.
So what is this cover? Does it say?
Yeah, it's Marvel Mystery Comic. It's the continuation. So it's issues 13 through 24. The omnibus, the Marvel Golden Age omnibus, is getting reprinted sometime before this too. So there will
Wow.
be 2 covers.
So this will
th-
be a lot of double dipping for those who have been buying the like the Namor and the Human Torch Golden Age
yes,
omnis, right?
right. Because well, and those are all creator centric, right? So you
Yeah.
have Bill Everett, you have Carl Burgos, and then you have the Simon and Kirby stuff. But Simon and Kirby actually stop at a time, so this has everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and all the one-off stories because there's multiple stories per issue in all of these old
yeah,
issues.
they were anthologies back then,
Yeah.
right? So 832 pages, $150. Now, uh, this will please the people that were like, "That's wrong," Marvel messed up in doing those collections because I wanted a second omnibus. So here you go. There is the second omnibus. Hopefully that will make some of you all happy.
Yeah.
We have Conan, Marvel Art of Savage Sword of Conan. They've
That's
done a
some good stuff.
Marvel Art of Conan. I've done an overview of that on the channel, and they're gorgeous books. They're all hardcovers. Retails for $50, 224 pages, and collecting artwork from all, not every issue, but like from issue 1 to 235 and of Savage Sword of Conan. And I'm sure a lot of it will be in color. But you've got artwork by Barry Windsor Smith, John Buscema, Ernie Chan, who supplied most of the inks on that, and then the covers.
Yeah. And it says
By
it's written by John Rhett Thomas, our friend
yes,
from Marvel Masterworks Forum.
yeah. So John Rhett Thomas is he also did the Marvel art of Conan. So now,
Yeah.
what does he go by? Is it Gomu? What does he go by from?
Gormu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah,
Yep.
good, really good guy. So we have Marvel Masterworks, The Incredible Hulk, continuing that line, Volume
Wow.
14. We are now in the 223. Have we run the John Burns stuff yet? We're still with
Not
Roger
quite.
Stern.
Yeah. I
So
think it looks like there's John Burns in the credits here.
okay,
So
so it
we're
might be
getting
1 or
there.
2 issues by him. So this is before the I want to say like the Bill Mantlo stuff, like yeah. So man, good for
Amazing.
people that are still getting those. And for those of us that collect omnis, here is She-Hulk by Dan Slott Omnibus. This one's one that I'm pretty excited for. I didn't see this one coming, honestly, when they solicited
Ramping
because
up for the TV show, I guess.
right. Well, when they announced the sensational She-Hulk omnibus, they didn't know about the TV show, right?
Right, right.
So it was afterwards that they were like, "Oh, we need to collect the Dan Slott run." So that's awesome that they did that.
Yeah,
So
great.
out of pure coincidence, we are getting 2 She-Hulk omnis in 1 year. So this has a lot of great artwork. I love Paul Pelletier. Juan Boboillo is one of those artists that I think some people don't like because his art is too cartoony, but I really enjoy because I like different arts. It's got Scott Collins, Paul Smith, and these covers by Adi Granov, and I think eventually Greg Horn does some stuff too.
Cool.
But if you've never read it, it is a really fun run of She-Hulk. Avengers Defenders Tarot. This is a newer series, I want to say. It's 1 through 4, written by Alan Davis, Paul Renaud. I like that cover.
It's very fancy. Yeah. Like a tarot card.
Yep. Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman's Absolute Carnage Omnibus. It's finally getting the announcement here. So here you go. It will be available in July. So let's look at the actual contents of this book, because when I announced this on the channel, we didn't know the exact contents and they went back and changed some things. So it looks like they did add Venom 16 through 20.
Okay.
So Absolute Carnage 1 through 5, Carnage versus Venom, the miniseries, the Captain Marvel one-shot, Immortal Hulk, Symbiote Spider-Man, Symbiote of Vengeance, Lethal Protectors mini, Avengers, Miles Morales mini, Weapon Plus one-shot, Scream mini, Separation Anxiety, Amazing Spider-Man 29 through 31. I think one of those was left out. And then 16 through 20 and Absolute Carnage, the Stinger pages from across the Marvel Universe. So there you go. They've
Wow.
added a few books. The price is still the same, $75, 776 pages. This, for
That's a good deal.
the first time ever, you have the words Absolute and Omnibus in one hardcover. Somewhere at DC offices, somebody's upset. Damn it, we should have done that first.
They should make a slipcover for, or like a slipcase for this one as well, and then
Fill it as an absolute. Oh,
yeah.
I cannot wait for this. That Ryan Stegman artwork on this in oversized format is going to look phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that. So we have Spider-Verse, Spider Zero. I think this is just a mini series with Miles Morales where he falls through the Spider-Verse. Yeah. So it's a 2019 series, written by a few people, including some of my favorite creators up there, like Christos Gage, and different artists. Oh, Todd.
I am never gonna get tired of Spider-Verse. I love it. I love multiverse hopping. It's just so fantastic, and the fact that they keep bringing this back just makes me happy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hold on. Let me look at something really quick on this Absolute Carnage, because I wonder. There was a mini series I didn't see in here, but Free Comic Book Day. I'm sure the Free Comic Book Day is going to be in there because that sets up.
That's the kickoff. Yeah.
Yeah. Miles Morales Volume 3. So here we go. I love this series. This has been so fun. Saladin Ahmed. Oh, we have a new penciler though, because Javier Garon did the first 2 volumes. Ig Guara, Zé Carlos. So we have a few pencilers. But this series has been so fun.
Yeah.
One of the best things Bendis did, Scream Curse of Carnage. This is the follow-up mini-series to the Absolute Carnage Scream, this one here. So this is like a follow-up series to that. And that's what the cover looks like.
Nice.
Pretty wicked.
Yeah.
Venom by Donny Cates. Donny Cates. Venom Island. This is the new series after what's Absolute Carnage. So it's going on right
Mark
now.
Bagley. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he came back to draw those issues. Of course,
Wow.
who's fast enough to keep a monthly schedule just in
It's
the
Mark,
last
for
minute,
sure.
right? The guy can draw. I love those. Is that Clayton Crane, I want to say, on the cover? Yeah, Clayton Crane on the cover. Love that
Very
cover.
nice. Yeah.
Morbius Volume 1. This is the 2019 series. And of course, they've already announced the omnibus, and I think that one comes out in April. There's both covers right there. The Living Vampire miniseries, all collected in one. Now we're moving into the X-Men territory of collected, or trade paperbacks, rather. We have Fallen Angels by Brian Hill. And that collects all the 6 issues.
Nice.
And I'm interested in the comments or in the chat how you're going to pick these up. Are you going to get the Dawn of X trade paperbacks? Are you going to get the single series trade paperbacks? Or are you going to wait? So we also have the X-Force trade paperback by Benjamin Percy. That one's been pretty fun, honestly. Fallen Angels is kind of highs and lows, but I really liked X-Force. I thought that was a fun book. And of course, one of my favorites right here by two of my favorite creators, Jonathan Hickman and Ed Brisson, New Mutants.
You just know eventually the Dawn of X, the Dawn of X books are not going to continue. Like, it's just not a sustainable way to collect it. Like, you're not going to have all of the issue number 25s, I'm sure, to collect it together. Like,
well, I don't think they can, because like Fallen Angels, for example, ends at issue 6.
Right. So my own personal preference is not to collect the Dawn of X ones, because once they stop those, then are you going to start picking up the individual trades, and then you're going to have a mismatched set. So that's my preference.
And God forbid, as a collected editions collector, you have any of that.
That's right.
And at this moment, I'd like to remind everybody that's watching to please hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that like button and the notifications button to let you know when our videos go live. So New Mutants, I've really enjoyed this series. I don't know if you've read any of this stuff, but this stuff is great.
Yeah, I haven't yet. I think the first issue of of House of X is on Marvel Unlimited like next week, so I'm gonna, or maybe the week after, I can't remember. So I'm gonna start reading it through Marvel Unlimited. I haven't been keeping up to date, but I've been hearing of the hype, and I'm so excited.
80s and 90s kids rejoice.
Look
at
man,
that.
So I am a huge Generation X fan, and it warms my heart to see not just Chamber, but freaking Mondo on this team. Holy cow.
And they're not the only two that make a cameo or an appearance. There's other things going on.
Oh, good.
Continuing Avengers by Jason Aaron, Volume 6. This one's one that I'm surprised they didn't go the OHC route. Right? I really thought we were going to get oversized hardcovers of these, but still no.
I can't. I'm sure they will at some point. They must.
Oh, yeah. My money was also on Amazing Spider-Man oversized hardcovers, but still nothing yet. So I guess we will see. I'm sure, this stuff will probably be collected in a nice omnibus one day. Another thing that surprises me is that Ed McGuinness is still on the book.
He's great.
I love Ed McGuinness, but I never thought he would be one to keep a monthly schedule. And he doesn't. He doesn't draw every issue, but it's still nice to see his name attached to it.
Yeah.
Then we have the Amazing Spider-Man 2099 Companion. This is a pretty interesting name for this collection, but I guess you got to cash in on the character, right? Your flagship character, because this collects the one-shots from 2019, like 2019 was the year they came out, last year. This is so confusing. And then 80 years in the future is 2099. But you have the 2099 Alpha, you have the Omega, you have Conan 2099, Doom, Fantastic Four, Ghost Rider, Punisher, Spider-Man, and Venom. So this, I've only read the Alpha and the Spider-Man one. I haven't read the others, but that Conan I gotta check out.
I can just imagine. I'm sure he is like teleported to the future or something, right?
Right. Maybe. You haven't read any of that?
Nah.
Did you like 2099 when it was coming out?
Some of it. I read X-Men 2099 and some of Spider-Man 2099 growing up, but it was, it wasn't the best thing in the world.
Okay, I love Spider-Man 2099. That's some of the best Peter David, Rick Leonardi stuff. So here we have Rise of Kylo Ren. Charles Soule, who's been killing it. And this one, I love that cover.
Yeah, yeah, very nice. This will be great to. Again, I haven't been keeping up on any of this stuff because I read it through Marvel Unlimited. But it would be nice to fill in some of the gaps in the new trilogy to see how Kylo Ren kind of got to where he is.
Mm.
So that's kind
Well,
of cool.
it is a necessary companion to the
Oh,
Rise of Skywalker,
there we go.
according to
Necessary.
Comics The Gathering, according to them. And here's something you like to see at
Woohoo!
the collection, Star Wars The Rebellion.
Yes, Volume
This-
4.
Yeah, so this is continuing the legends. So, Curtis, would you do us the honors of explaining the difference between Legends and then Star Wars Epic? Because I've tried, and I think I got it to some people, but now that I've got you on the show,
What's the difference between this like why is it called Legends?
yes.
Well, back when Disney bought Star Wars, they decided they wanted their own continuity. So every previous continuity, anything related to Star Wars that previously existed or is previously written, has now been retconned to not actually exist. And they've shoved it all under this banner called Legends, Star Wars Legends. They're not real; they're legends.
So they're not canon
They're not
at
canon. None
all.
of this stuff is canon. So this is all the Star Wars Legends Epic Collections is reprinting all of the Dark Horse stuff that was published when Dark Horse had the Star Wars license.
So
And of course,
have they done the Dark Empire trilogy done?
not yet,
Ah,
not yet.
that needs to be a nice hardcover.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. They're saving the best for last, I think. And it's actually kind of funny because in light of Rise of Skywalker, Dark Empire is a very interesting read. There's a lot of
Right.
interesting stuff there, and I wonder if they were purposely holding off till after Rise
To see
to
where the
put that
story
out.
went.
I don't know. Maybe.
Could be. Yeah. So collecting more of the Star Wars Rebellion stuff.
Yep.
Jedi Fallen Order, Dark
Yep.
Temple.
So you can see this does not have the Legends
The
banner
Legend.
on it, which means this one is canon. This is new stuff.
Yeah, this is the stuff by Matthew Rosenberg. Yeah, Fallen
Yeah.
Order, Dark Temple, issues 1 through 5. So these are pretty interesting right now, right here. I didn't know about this collection. This is the Captain Marvel: The Many Lives of No, yes, I did, but I didn't know
Yeah.
what was collected in here. So now here's the solicitation for it. So it has her earlier appearances, and not just as Miss Marvel, but also
Binary. Yeah.
Binary, Warbird, because
Yep.
there's issues of Avengers in there, and then Captain Marvel. So it literally is the many lives of Carol Danvers. That's a
If you
damn
want a
good
good
title.
Yeah, if you want a good primer on Captain Marvel in general, this looks like it's actually a pretty good issue. It has a lot of the key moments, key issues. It has when Rogue took her powers and all of that. So it's all here.
And it's got the Captain Marvel #1, the Kelly Sue DeConnick run, when she took the
Yep,
helm of Captain Marvel.
that's right. It actually looks like it's a very nicely curated collection. If you want a character-centric collection, this is a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah.
If you're looking for something that's chronologically written, probably not. But
Right.
you know what? Let's hope this sells well, because I love to see Captain Marvel sell well. Maybe one day we'll get a Peter David collection. Maybe one day we'll get a classic Captain Marvel omnibus.
Yep.
What do I know? What do I know, though?
That would be nice.
All right, here we go. Heroes Reborn Avengers. So this is during the Heroes Reborn era, when a bunch of the image creators came in and leased, rather, the Marvel
Yes,
characters for
that's
about a
right.
year.
Yeah, this is a weird period. Now these books, all four of the Heroes Reborn books are solicited either for this month or next month,
Mhm.
and they are not exactly the same as the old printings. It says it's a new printing, but they're actually including
Well, they're including crossovers, right?
all of it. Well, only the 12 crossover issue
Right. No.
12,
Well, they can't do 13 because of copyrights, right? That
right?
all the Wildstorm characters.
But there's also crossover with I think issue number 4 called Industrial Revolution, but they're not including any of those. So it's actually kind of stupid. All four Heroes Reborn books are including all four number 12 issues. So it's a lot of extra unnecessary content.
Double dipping. I think that's for those people that don't get every one of these. But I can't really imagine somebody just saying, I'm just going to be getting the Heroes Reborn Captain America. I don't
Yeah,
care
right.
about Heroes Reborn Iron Man. That's not for me.
I guess
Uh,
maybe if they're a Liefeld fan, they'll only get Captain America.
Now, if this particular volume actually means a lot to people that get Epic collections, right? Because this is literally the follow-up to Avengers
That's true.
Epic Collection. This is
Yep.
literally where if Avengers Epic Collection, I don't have my mapping out in front of me, but if Avengers Epic Collection, ends uh, with
Like 27 or something.
whatever volume it is, this
Yeah.
would be the next reading
Yeah.
order, even though
That's
it will
right.
make no sense because Onslaught and all that mess. But so this means a lot to Epic Collection collectors.
Yeah, I mean, if you're collecting, the Onslaught story has been collected fairly decently in what's it called? Fantastic Four Epic Collection Strange Days. So if you got that one, you can jump into
Yes,
the Heroes Reborn. And I'm sure that oh no, I guess yeah, I bet it'll appear in the Avengers Epic Collections at the end of there as well.
the
You know,
Onslaught.
the Onslaught stuff,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be on every one of those.
Yep.
Astonishing X-Men
Oh, hold on, wait,
Companion.
wait, 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 wait. Go back, go back, go back. Let's check the price.
You were right.
Yep, 45 bucks.
44. Yep, 44.99. Almost 496 pages. Or, I mean, almost 500 pages.
Yeah.
But you're right. Well, you're paying me. You're gonna pay that premium Jim Lee,
For those extra number 12 issues.
Rob
Yeah.
Liefeld price. Captain America #6. It does it include? No, that was
Maybe they have to pay licensing fees to Image to reprint this stuff. No, I'm just
maybe,
joking. I don't think
maybe,
that.
maybe. Oh, I'm sure Jim Lee and Liefeld get something.
I'm sure they get some royalties. Yeah.
Now this is something that means a lot to me. This is Astonishing X-Men Companion. Does it have anything to do with Astonishing X-Men? I was gonna say no, but then I do notice that they have something here. Okay, so it collects X-Men Unlimited. This is the second series of X-Men Unlimited, 2 through 14. It only lasted 14 issues. That's the 2004 series. If you're looking for X-Men Unlimited #1, that's collected in the new X-Men Companion. So let's keep that in mind. And the reason this is called Astonishing X-Men Companion is it did come around that time when Joss Whedon was writing Astonishing X-Men, and he did write issues 3 and 4 of Giant Size X-Men, which were originally supposed to be drawn by Dave Cockrum, but he got sick. And then, later on, sadly passed away. But Neil Adams stepped in and drew those issues.
Wow, that's kind of cool.
And then it has the Mythos X-Men and the material from Free Comic Book Day 2006. I love books like this. I love that. Yes, it has nothing to do really with Astonishing X-Men, but it's
Well, we're
those
getting the odds and
orphan
ends
issues.
stories. Yep.
Yeah, and I
Yep.
love that. I love that
Totally.
Marvel has already thought about it, where they're gonna fit in, what they're gonna call it. I love having a game plan
Yeah.
because I'm very much like that, like thinking ahead. So more X-Men stuff right here. We have the milestones. Are you getting these just out of curiosity as an Epic reader? Are you an
I
X-Men guy or?
I haven't gotten any of them because I know they're going to come out in Epic Collection. So why would I buy Inferno, X-Men Inferno, if it's going to be? Yeah, and so
Well,
yeah, here's
because
the question: because it's the full story, right? It's all of the different parts.
yeah,
All of the
I was gonna cut you
but,
off and be like, wait a minute, that's not entirely true.
but it's still going to be like eventually.
If you
I'm playing the long game here, and it's
Okay,
going to all be collected in their individual respective titles, and then I will have a book that's just all double dipping. So I don't want to, especially when these books are $40 or $50. I'm not going to buy it. No.
okay, so I'll tell you what's happening or why they probably do this. So X-Men. This is X-Men, right? X-Men
Yep.
Milestones, Necrotia, and then we'll talk about Messiah War. So this is during those years of Colin Yost when they were doing X-Force, which is a wonderful series. And I want to say I don't know if this will be an epic format though.
No, it's too modern. These ones are too modern for
Right.
sure.
I
Yeah.
use these but like Executioner Song. Let's talk about Executioner Song for a minute because I
Okay.
did a video on that.
Yeah.
So you have X-Force Executioner Song, you have the X-Men Milestones Executioner Song, and somebody asked me to do a video because they didn't know the difference.
Right.
Well, if you're just getting the X-Men events, this is the best way to do it if you don't care about oversized hardcovers or if you cannot find them and you just want to use these as placeholders. But if you're getting all the epic collections of all the X-Men titles, then yes, by all means, you don't have to get these. Because either X Factor will collect everything or X Force or Uncanny X-Men,
Yeah.
depending on who the primary group is or the primary character of that crossover is. They will collect everything. But these are too recent, so I don't think these will be collected in any kind of epic collections. Perhaps a ultimate collection of X-Force or a complete collection, I think is what they're going to do. Or maybe, hey, they might reprint these books and make them omnis. I don't know.
It would be, this is a good way for them to have a library that they can just keep in print. All of these milestones, I think, should probably be considered evergreen.
I agree. And I think they're still all in print for the most part. I don't
They are
no,
now.
they are.
They are now, I think, yeah.
Yeah. And it all kicked off.
There's a question in the comments here. It says, is the Necrosha milestone any different than the X Necrosha trade paperback?
That is a good question. Because I don't have the X Necrosha trade paperback. I have the X Necrosha hardcover. So this one is 448 pages. Oh my gosh, how much was my hard? Oh gosh, hold on a second. Let me
putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, I'm really good at memorizing names, but I don't know about numbers, like page counts and things like that.
Yeah.
Let me look. Let me think about this. So if New X-Men 32, X-Force 11, new X-Force 21 through 25. Yes. That's all in the hardcover. Yeah. Actually, looking at this, X-Men Legacy 231, X Necrosha, this is exactly what's in my hardcover. So if the hardcover is what they made into a trade paperback a couple of years ago, then this is exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. I would imagine so. I mean,
Sorry, long answer, but I had to think.
These modern trade paperbacks, a lot of the issues are written specifically with the packaging of these trades in mind. So it would make sense that it's very, very similar.
And this is probably the same case with the Milestones Messiah War.
Yeah,
so
I would say so.
This one is 448 pages, $39.99, and this one is 248 pages, $24.99. So I hope we were able to answer your question. Now, more X-Men. God, I love this section. I love this section. X-Men Reload trade paperback. Now,
man, this is so funny.
I find it interesting that we have X-Men Reload, Chris Claremont, volumes 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
And then we had X-Men, what are they called? Trial of Juggernaut and Unstoppable. Leaving off Chuck Austin's name, right?
Right, because that's a bad taste in people's mouths for this era right here.
I don't care what you say, man. I'm still going to buy a Chuck Austin X-Men omnibus if they ever get announced. I don't care. I'm a poser like that. But so I think it's both genius and almost like misleading to call this X-Men Reload.
Yeah, right.
Because, okay, now if you're a completist, then yes, absolutely, you need this. This goes right after the Chris Claremont run. This goes right after the Chuck Austin run. So this leads into the Uncanny X-Men, the Ed Brubaker stuff. Or I'm sorry, this leads into the Chris Claremont stuff. So this is the third and final Chuck Austin stuff that leads into X-Men Reload by Chris Claremont. So that's what this is.
Yeah,
but it is just called Reload.
It is. So it's funny. So it comes before X-Men Reload by Chris Claremont. It's like a lead up to it.
Yes, it's like actually New X-Men had to change names, so they changed it from New X-Men back to X-Men, and he got to write those fill-in issues. And I think Peter Milligan was the writer after this, and then Chris Claremont took over the title in 444. So it's the leftover stuff from his run. So it's the third and final one.
Now I think that I saw this collection the other day, and I was trying to do the math here, and I think it leaves off and it orphans an issue. And I'm just trying to see what did I see here.
This particular volume.
This particular volume goes to issue number New X-Men number 164, and then the Claremont. Where did it go?
Claremont Volume 1. Remember, Claremont took over Uncanny. Peter Milligan took over.
Oh yeah, Peter Milligan. That's right. So the Peter Milligan Dangerous Liaisons. That volume starts at 166.
Oh,
so we're missing number 165. They have orphaned issue number 165.
I want to say that I'm sure those are going to get complete collections too, because they're doing like Kieran Gillian. They're
What
doing
What do you mean? The Peter
Peter
Milligan one?
Milligan stuff.
It
Mhm.
was. They did do the complete collection, Volume One, Dangerous Liaisons.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
How the
yeah,
hell did
that
I miss that?
it came out earlier this year, and it starts at 166.
So we're
We're,
missing
so
165.
we're missing 165, which is a fill-in Christmas issue, but it
But that's
should.
in the Chris Claremont stuff, isn't it?
I'm not sure who wrote that one, but it should. They really should have just tacked it on to the end of this one. There's no reason why they shouldn't have, like at the
Oh,
end of X-Men Reload. It
oh,
really should be in here.
hold on just a second. Let me see this because I want to say I know that they put that somewhere. Yeah, it's in volume 1 of the X-Men Reloads. It's in there. X-Men 165.
Okay, so
I
then.
thought Chris Claremont wrote that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good, perfect. So I have my numbers wrong then.
That's why we make a good dynamic duo, man. You correct
Good,
me about my
yeah.
Star Wars
Perfect.
legends, and I tell you where the stupid issues are. Just don't put me on the spot about page counts again. That was a hard question.
Oh yeah, I can see in the comments that people are also correcting me, so appreciate that, everybody. Thank you. I have now learned something, and this is good.
There you go, man. There you go.
Perfect.
All right. So, moving on to a new printing of Weapon X, one of the best, if not the best, Wolverine story ever to some people.
That is a fantastic cover. I really like the recoloring that they did on that.
Is it Richard Eisenoff? Usually he deals with a lot of the Wolverine recolors.
Definitely looks like his style.
Yeah.
His style shading. Yep.
I'm
His
reminded of
color
the
palette.
Origins.
Hmm.
And one of Entertainment Weekly's best comics of the decade, Young Avengers: The Complete Collection. $34.99. Not too long ago, this was released as one of the thinnest omnibus. And I
But it was
love
but it was complete though, right?
yes, I
And that
love this run. Love this run. If you have not read it, it is phenomenal.
this is the one with they're like hopping through different dimensions.
Yeah, because they got America Chavez. This is a different team um, following up Alan Heinberg's run.
Okay.
Oh, I love seeing this. If only for maybe now that we're done with the classic, we can get to the 90s What If.
Yeah. So this is the last volume of What If Classic, the complete collection of the 70s series. Will there be a volume 5? I sure hope so, because that stuff has not been collected.
Mm. Will there be an omnibus?
Oh yeah.
I sure hope so. That's what I'm hoping for. But this has a lot of early artwork from some of like my favorite artists I grew up with. So that's a pretty cool collection. What If 36 through 47? And here's something else that you like seeing: Epic Collection.
Woohoo!
Fantastic Four. The name is Doom.
So they've changed the name of this epic
Yeah,
collection.
I
It
noticed
was
that too.
because when we got that sneak peek, it was called By Ben Betrayed.
Yep,
This is a better name.
I
The
agree.
name is good. Yep.
I
It's
love
good.
when they do that, right? Even David says, like, not only the dates may change, but also the titles of the books, or we may push it to the end of the year. So I think this was originally solicited. No, it was. It was the first quarter. So
Yep.
it is April. So it's here. So there you go. Fantastic Four Epic Collection. The name is Doom. One of my favorite covers
Oh,
from Ron
nice.
Lim, Epic Collection Resurrection. I remember was it you and I that were trying to play the guessing game as to what this was?
Yeah. We had no idea. We couldn't just. Many people thought it might be number 4 because there's an issue called Resurrection back then. Other people like no, Resurrection is the mini series with Adam Warlock. That would maybe make it volume 8, but they couldn't figure out. But I was like, I said, I can't see any way that they wouldn't call volume 8 the Herald Ordeal. So I suggested that maybe it's volume 9. They're pushing the mini series to volume 9, and it looks
Yeah, and
like that's what they've
I
done
remember
here.
I remember the Resurrection miniseries, and I was like, well, that's got to be it
Yep.
then. So
Yeah.
here it is, collecting Silver Surfer 76 through 85, annual number 6, Silver Surfer Warlock Resurrection, and Secret Defenders during that awesome era when the Secret Defenders were around. This one, like you did notice, yeah, $44.99.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, $45. Man alive.
My
$57 for us Canadians.
my wife says "man alive." Never heard anybody else say that. That's awesome. Because every time she says that, I'm like, "How old are you?"
Yeah,
I always think it's like old people say it.
there you go. I guess I'm
I'm
old.
sorry, my heart does go out to you because it is $44.99. Not that huge of a price increase for Americans. Now we can't sit here and moan about it when you just said it's fit. How much is it for you Canadian?
$57. 57.
Yeah. So
Yep.
yep. The best thing about Marvel is that, and I just mentioned this. Was it? I don't know. I mentioned this before, and I mentioned it to you when we talk about it. Is that they have these books like this. This is Top Dog, part of their
Yeah.
Star Comics line, right? Which was their kids line that they release.
Yep.
Right? They have the ability to be like, okay, yeah, there's people out there that want it. Let's collect it.
Oh man.
And I think about that because we have my Man of Steel omnibus from DC canceled. Like because I think I don't know, like maybe I think one of the reasons was that they can't print that many omnis a year, which is fair. But this is
Yeah.
Man of Steel omnibus by John Byrne. Like you don't cancel that. Like if you can print one omnibus a year, that's the one. Anyway, you know what?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, and here we have a Top Dog complete collection. I love it. I can't imagine how many people are going to buy this collection. It's first of
it's
all, it's a kid's book, which the collectors don't usually go for, and it's a fairly obscure 80s title that people just generally don't care about.
I think it would be people that like honestly bought these books when they were
Yeah,
kids. I mean, that's a lot of
nostalgia for sure.
I would say 25% of my library is crap to some people, right?
Yeah.
And,
Well,
and
yeah,
that might be a big percentage. I don't know,
I will
but
buy it. I
to,
have a
to me,
huge
it's gold.
Yeah, I have a huge collection of kids comics. My kids love them, and I buy them so that they can read more. And so I bought the Spider Ham one
Hmm.
for them, well, for myself to read as well, but for them as well. And
There's
I
volume
haven't,
2 of that coming out too.
yeah, I haven't picked up what was the one, uh, Planet Terry. I
Hmm.
haven't picked that one up yet, but now that I see that they're going to do more, I might go on with these because I do love kids comics, and I do love this uh, Harvey Comics style that they have here because they took all the old Harvey Comics guys when Harvey folded in the '80s and moved them over to Star Comics and started up this imprint. So
So I think that's the thing that Marvel understands, that there's a book out there for somebody.
yeah,
It does what it means to you, what it means to somebody else is completely different. And I love that about that. But that's the really cool thing about these collections is like, oh yeah, Top Dog was a comic. Let's get a bunch of those together, put it out, and sell it. We'll do one printing.
what this also tells me though is that if they are willing to do a Top Dog collection, it means that any of your omnibus, your most wanted omnibus, which is collecting, the
Yeah,
popular stuff,
it
it's
might be that
it's
I get a
coming.
new Warriors Omnibus Volume 2 someday.
There's
Yes.
it'll be out there because if they're doing Top Dog, they'll do New Warriors Omnibus number 2.
Yep. I hope so. If Marvel's listening, you hear that? Top Dog.
That's right.
If we get I swear if we get a Top Dog Omnibus, I don't even know if that before we get a new Warriors Omnibus.
Well, they could do a Star Comics omnibus and put Top Dog and Planetary and Wally Wizard all in one. I mean, they did freaking Muppet Babies omnibus, so anything's possible.
I will tell you this too, and this is something that a lot of people I didn't think about, but it also depends on who's like, David. David's idea was Conan, Hour of the Dragon, right?
Yep.
Do you know much about that collection?
No, I don't know anything about it.
It is a cool collection. So for the first time, like what they did was take the giant size Conans and the canceled story that they put in Savage Sword and put it together because it's one continuing story.
Okay,
Hour of the Dragon, and then it's written by Roy Thomas, of course, and then
yeah,
the pages of Savage Sword of Conan were recolored
nice.
for the first time, and to have it in all in one complete collection, and that's all because that was like one of David's favorite stories when he was a kid, and he
Cool.
didn't know it continued. So a lot of these things sometimes it's like somebody in the group, like Corey has a lot of things that he does
They're
that
just pet projects, right?
are,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
that's
Uh,
cool.
League of Legends is coming out. This I assume is based on the video game,
Yep, yep.
right? The PC game. That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
it is, yeah.
Marvel, the art of Mark Brooks, one of my favorite artists. That is
Wow.
just now, now he is a cover artist, but he did do some stuff, some internal artwork.
And he
This
did that huge House of X cover with like
Yeah,
every single person on it, right?
yeah, he does. He does that. He did that. He did issues of Ultimate Spider-Man. I mean, he's done variant covers for years, but man, he is a phenomenal artist.
Yeah.
I want to say he's a big. He was influenced a lot by anime, and then we have the kids' graphic novel size trade paperback is the last one. This is Miss Marvel meets the Marvel Universe. So collecting more of the 2014 series of Miss Marvel. My kid loves these. She's reviewed some on the channel.
Cool.
And
That
that is that.
that's really cool. I think that they should have probably done the Top Dog in that style, like the smaller trade, just to keep the price point down.
But then a collector like that was like, that's my favorite book. How dare they shrink it,
I
right?
guess so. Yeah.
You can't please everybody,
No, you
Kurtis.
can't.
You probably know that. And to recap, as far as the Omnis, we have She-Hulk by Dan Slott. We have the Marvel Golden Age Omnibus Volume 2. That's one that surprised me. So that is it for the month of April. Let's go back to the chat and see if there's any questions. What things you would like to see. We still have the final quarter of. There we go. And we're back. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing good.
I know you're doing good. I was immediately talking to the chat.
The
Vernon Johnson, slow down. I couldn't see that. So, do you mean slow down then or at the beginning? I don't know when you mean slow down.
The magic of YouTube, you can go back and pause it. So hopefully you can you'll get.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, if anytime I need to slow down on anything, please let me know in the comments down below. What do you all want to see in the fourth quarter of 2020? It's really cool what they have planned, what Marvel has planned. I can't say anything yet, but as far as Omnis, I'm excited, not just for some of the reprints that David has told me about, but also some of the new Omnis they're going to collect. Like the fourth quarter is going to be probably my favorite quarter of 2020. And 2020 has been a great year. Like look at all the Omnis coming out next week alone.
Oh,
like you're kicking it off with Peter David Omnibus. Like that's crazy. So that was one of my most wanted Omnis for years, ever since I started collecting these things.
That's great. Yeah, and it's good that all those legends, the Hulk Legends, Peter David stuff, a lot of those are out of print.
Oh yes, the Visionaries, right?
The Visionaries, that's what I meant. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's good to get those back, and I guess that means they're not going to probably come to Epic for a little while.
Well, I was told, like I remember when I announced the box set, some people were very upset that of X-Men, the box set of X-Men, people were upset, like, oh, that means we're not going to get a reprint of Volume 2. This is dumb. Or, this means we're probably not going to get an Uncanny. And I David answers the questions he can. So when I asked him, he said, no, the box set does not affect, like one format does not affect the other.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good.
So, if Epic guys want epics of Hulk, I'm sure they're coming. I don't know. Yeah. I don't think it would be smart to release them in the same time slot that they're releasing the Omnis, but give it a year or so.
Yeah. Well, we haven't seen a Hulk Epic Collection announced for this year yet. We should. Right. They've been doing 2 a year for the past few years, and so I'm surprised that we haven't seen any yet. So it might be the case that there's only one Hulk Epic coming out in 2020. I'm hoping that there's 2, and they'll do them in back-to-back months or something.
That would be really cool. Part of that might have to do with all the epics they have, right? Remember when you asked me if David would reconsider renaming Conan? What was it, Conan Chronicles?
It's Conan the Marvel Years Complete Collection Volume 1. I wanted
you wanted to be an epic, and David said, "I'm just so tired of epics. You can't naming everything an epic." But I get it, right?
The main reason why I think that should be renamed Epic is because that series is over 250 issues long, and we're talking about printing. If it's a complete collection, printing from the beginning and going forward. If it's Epic, then we can skip ahead to like issue 200 if we wanted to, and get some stuff that hadn't been collected before.
Do you think they would do that? Because with the Dark Horse stuff, they're doing it in chronological order.
But they don't have to, because it's an Epic collection. The precedent is set.
They don't have to, but they are.
They are, but
which is cool.
That one makes more sense because they're going to wrap up that series in a few volumes. Like, it's not that long, but we're talking like with a 250 series title, that's going to be 10 plus volumes.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I don't know. And
you're talking to the guy that's already in for the Omnis,
yeah,
right?
Totally. Well, and also the complete collection is only 13 issues. It's only something like 300 pages, and so it's going to take a long, long time to get all of those comics out in complete collections. if they do it that way.
It'll be here before you know it, Curtis. We'll be doing this 10 years from now. You're gonna be like, remember?
Yeah, look at my shelf full of
And then you can start saying things like "man alive."
man alive.
Now, I do need to say something. So,
Yep.
if you are looking for these omnis or trade paperbacks, please visit our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com. They have prices up to 50% off of the collections. Right now, they're running an after Christmas, after Black Friday, after Christmas sale that they're having a lot of things on clearance. So, check out that. Uh, the link is in the description down below. So, I'm looking at the list of people of what they want to see, right? A couple of months ago on the Facebook group, I did, what's the most wanted Marvel omnibus you want reprinted was. And then I did a video, released a video, and I shared that list with Marvel. Now, whether they reprint any of those or I, or I don't know. But, X-Men by Jim Lee was up there. That was the number one, volumes 1 and 2. And Uncanny X-Men Volume 2 reprint, Infinity Gauntlet reprint.
Yeah.
What else was there? There's a lot of. I remember the top three. I can't remember the top, but there were 10. A lot of people voted for him. Like the Jim Lee one got over 150 votes or something like that. So I'd like to know, what other omnis you all want to see. Be really neat. I like to see different people's perspective, like on what they want. I say somebody mentioned the Dan Slott Spider-Man omnibus. I say the logical place to go after printing the JMS stuff will be the Dan Slott run, and I don't know how they'll do that brand new day stuff. I don't know if they'll bother with that because there's so many creators behind that, or if they'll just jump into the big time stuff. I agree that Zdarsky's DD needs an OHC. The guy's killing. I love that run. I want to see a Charles Soule collection too, or at least thick trades. Like Daredevil has been consistent with Omnis. Like it's crazy. But we don't have a Charles Soule hardcovers yet or anything. Yeah, Fantastic Four by Jonathan Hickman. That was in the top 5, I think. But most people want it reprinted.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Is the Amazing Spider-Man Epic Volume 16 coming?
Not as far as we know, not yet.
Not yet.
It'll come eventually, but not yet.
What would that
we have 2 Spider-Man epics already scheduled for 2020, so I don't expect that we're going to see another Spider-Man epic collection announced for the remainder of 2020. So if it is coming anytime soon, it'll be in 2021.
I say that Maximum Carnage is awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
I just did an overview. It comes out this Wednesday. I love that story. It's so summer blockbuster movie. It's like I loved it. I mean, it was like so big that they created a video game.
Yeah, it was huge. I can't remember if I told you this or not, but I think I've only read about 9 random issues of that story because when I was collecting as a kid, you don't have enough money or you can't find all the issues. So I'm excited to finally read the entire story for the first time.
I remember that happened to me when I first started getting trades because I missed an issue of something. And this was an old trade. I want to say it was like X-Men. Oh, the 12. No, Omnibus is coming out.
Okay.
But I never got to read like that Machine Man issue that they.
Oh yeah, right.
I don't know if you remember the M years, the M techno year, M Tech, right? Because it started with Warlock and then Deathlock and then Machine Man. Yeah, what a interesting time to try to kick those off during a huge crossover event.
Yeah.
But I never got it. So I was very happy that they included it in the trade. I got to read it that way. Not that it was the best thing ever, but as a completist, you appreciate things like that. You want everything. Let's see. Want some Marvel team up, Ghost Rider epics. So those are good. I love a Ghost Rider. Now, see, that's Ghost Rider. Which one though? Depends on what time you grew up. You want Johnny Blaze, Danny Ketch, right?
And again, if they do epic collections, it would be great if they just flip-flopped between the two. Like release a. Hold on. You want to say hi to my daughter?
Yeah.
Say hi to everybody.
You have a cute co-host here. Let me put it on you. So who is this?
This is Samantha.
Hey, Samantha.
Can you say hi to everybody? She can't hear you because I have my headphones in.
Oh.
But she's been great while I'm talking here. Thanks for just playing. It's been very good. Sorry, what were we saying? We were saying that I lost my train of thought here.
Don't remember. Cute kid showed up.
Oh, Ghost Rider. We're talking about Ghost
Oh,
Rider.
Ghost Rider. You wanted to
If they-
flip flop between
yeah, yeah,
Johnny
yeah.
Blaze and
Because if
Danny
they do
Ketch.
two Ghost Rider epics a year, and one's a Johnny Blaze one, and one's a Dan Ketch epic, then it would, it would serve both fan bases.
That would be an interesting and confusing way to do it, right? Like
Yeah.
one month you're reading Johnny Blaze, a young guy, and then the next month you're reading Johnny Blaze, an older guy that's kind of a jerk of a mentor to this kid.
Yeah, but
So
you're doing the same thing with, like, if you're like 1960s Avengers and 1980s Avengers or 1990s Avengers, they're flip flopping between those. Those are very different as well. So
yeah, but there's some weird consistency to those, right? Because they're not different characters. But I get it. I see what you're saying.
yeah,
I'm a big fan of that uh 90s Danny Ketch stuff, you know.
totally, it's good stuff.
My wife said your kid's a cutie. She's in the chat. What did
Thank
she
you.
should be you should be working. I should be working. This was my lunchtime. All right. I love all the love for 2099 Peter David Omni. That's awesome. I thought that was one of my top. I think it made it to my top 10
That
most
would be
wanted
nice. It would be nice to
Marvel
get
omnibus.
all of that stuff collected as well. Like, they've done a good job with the Spider-Man 2099 collections, but everything else should come out.
Some of those are hard to find though.
Yeah,
Not
it's
a
true.
print for a while. Omar, did you know Sin City Omnibus got a reprint? Yes, I did. Just it was like a silent reprint. Way to go, Dark Horse.
Oh, and Bleeding Cool announced last night that that Marvel's going to reprint those Epic Collections Volume 1s and Cosmic Adventures again because they sold out so fast the last time.
Yes. On my channel, when I talked about the out of print ones, they should be coming in like 2 weeks, I think.
Cool.
Two more weeks or so is when they should have the second batch. So all those people looking for those original reprints of Epic Collections,
Yep.
keep an eye out because it's not one of those. These aren't announced ahead of time. Like, hey, we
Nope.
have this in stock, right? Just keep an eye out on cheapgraphicnovels.com or
Yep.
and they're not sold at Amazon. So that's another thing to keep in mind.
That's right.
Ultimate Spider-Man omnis are needed. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
they did one and then like nothing again, right?
Well, my hope is that they just did an Ultimates omnibus. Maybe that will catch some steam now, and they're like, "Well, that sold well. Let's reprint Ultimate Spider-Man and see what happens." But that's always my hope, right? Like with the reprint of Wolverine, I'm wanting a volume 2. All right, my dude, I do have to get back. Thank you
Okay.
for joining me, Kurtis. Where can people find you when you're
Well,
not hanging out with me?
I suggest everybody check out epicmarvelpodcast.com or wherever your podcast players. We just talk about old comics, and it's a lot of fun. You can also find me on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram if you just search for Epic Marvel Podcast. And I also have a Facebook group. If you search for Epic Collections on Facebook, we just talk about Epic Collections all the time, and it's a lot of fun, and you are more than welcome to join us.
I'm in there.
Yep.
I'm in there, and I talked to Kurtis on there. And don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button, and definitely check out Kurtis's podcast. He's a really nice guy. He does interviews on there.
Mm-hmm.
And
I just released an interview with Chris Claremont talking about Miss Marvel last night. I did that. So
oh, awesome. I'll be checking that out.
Cool.
And the Facebook group, people are really nice, knowledgeable. Unless they're talking about an orphaned issue of random X-Men 165.
I don't need to talk about that anymore, apparently.
So thank you for joining us. Don't forget to hit that like. Already did that. So remember, if it's classy and cool, it must be near mint. Bye, everybody.
See you later.